Hello, Ken. This is Aaron Henly. I'm the marksmanship instructor at East Tennessee State University, and I'm giving you a review on 22 target pistols. Now, at the university, we teach marksmanship as a PE class, and believe it or not, we actually have that there. And we shoot something on the neighborhood of about 100,000 rounds a year there. About two-thirds of that ammo we run through handguns. We also do the handgun carry class for the state of Tennessee, and we use the 22 target pistols for that as well. So I've got quite a bit of time with and around a bunch of 22 target pistols, and I'm going to give you a list of the target pistols we've used and my thoughts on them. So we've used just about everything that's out there on the market today, and some things you can't get a hold of anymore. So we've used the old high standard government model, Colt target model, the Ruger Mark IIs, Mark III, the standard Mark III, the Mark III 2245, and then the new Ruger Mark III lights. We've used the Beretta Neos, the Browning buck marks, Smith & Wesson target pistol, the Whitney Wolverine, the Sig Mosquito, the Walther P22, the Ruger SP22, the Chiappa 1911, Smith & Wesson, the new Smith & Wesson M&P 22 that mimics their full-size duty handgun. So we've used all of these. What I'm down to now and what I like quite a bit is the Ruger 22s, okay, the Mark IIIs. That's what you can get now. I really do prefer the Mark IIs, but the Mark IIIs are fine guns too. We put, like I said, we put a lot of rounds through these guns, and we've had these for years. And I did a lot of experimentation with all these other handguns, and they're fine. Most all of the guns on this list are fine for your average shooter, but for any kind of longevity and some pretty rough use, the Rugers seem to be the head and shoulders above everything else because we're pretty rough on them. And they're cycling through all kinds of students' hands, and I make them dry fire a lot, and the guns handle it real well. We did use the Colt target models, and they lasted for a good number of years, and those were really nice pistols. I'd really like to have more of them. Unfortunately, Colt doesn't make those anymore. And the high standards as well, we had those for a good number of years. And they don't make those anymore either. So we started going through the more modern stuff. Beretta Neos, which is virtually a clone of the Colt target model, and I was really had some high hopes for that, but it just didn't have the longevity. I'm not really sure why. They would start misfiring, and they just would break a whole lot quicker than the Colt targets did. The Browning buck marks, once again, I had some pretty high hopes for those too, but they once you've taken them apart and cleaned them a few times and you put a good number of rounds to them, they start just kind of walking apart on you and start having misfires too. Smith & Wesson one, we kind of poo-pooed that one pretty quick because it's got kind of a funky magazine release on it, and the grip doesn't feel quite as solid as you would want. Kind of a plasticky feel to it. The Whitney Wolverine, believe it or not, of my non-standard guns there, that's my favorite one, and I'm not sure exactly why, because it's a weird little gun. It reminds you of something from Buck Rogers or Flash Gordon from the 50s, very 50s space agey looking, and it's very, very quirky, but accurate. Man, that's an accurate pistol. One complaint I have with it is the rear sight tends to want to, because it's a plastic sight and a plastic frame, it gets kind of loose, and you've got to finagle that some. But man, if you get it solid, locked in solid, it's an accurate little pistol. The Sig Mosquito, had high hopes for that one too. Felt great. Man, that's a good feeling pistol. It's like a two-thirds reduction of the standard Sig pistol, like the 226s and stuff. But I had a real hard time finding ammo that would run with. The CCI Mini-Mags is about the only thing I could consistently get to run through the Mosquitoes. The Walther P22, liked that one okay. The front sight had a bad habit of wanting to pop off on it. A little plastic front sight stuck down in the slide, wanted to pop out on it. I didn't like that it didn't have a decocker. either. It is a double-action pistol, and it didn't have a decocker. We've got rid of that one. Now we have the Ruger SP22. I like that one a whole lot better. It seems like an upgrade from that Walther one. It does have a decocker, and the sights so far seem to be a good deal more solid. That Chiappa 1911, it was an okay pistol. It ran okay. Wasn't great. It did have malfunctions and stuff. I did try to take it to a gun store here recently and trade it with some other guns that we're trying to kind of standardize on that Ruger deal there, and they wouldn't even take it. They said they weren't interested in it. They said that they had people shoot it a lot, and if they got it too hot, that the magazine would melt, because it's an all-plastic magazine. So, well, there you go. The Smith & Wesson MP 22 handgun, like that one. If you've got a Smith & Wesson M&P as a carry gun or something like that, that would be a really good idea to look at getting something like that as your training gun. On those Rugers, a couple of other models there, the lights, and I've got a standard Mark III, and then I've got a Mark II. Like I said, I really prefer the Mark II over the Mark IIIs because they don't have that magazine disconnect. Mark IIs didn't have a magazine disconnect, so you could dry fire it without a magazine in. And it's just a pain in the butt whenever you try to disassemble it, the disassembly procedure. You got to put the magazine in, take it out, dry fire, back and forth, and it's just a little bit of a pain. The lights, I haven't got a whole lot of rounds through the lights yet, and so the jury's still out on that. They feel really nice. They look like they're an identical copy to the standard Mark IIs, Mark IIIs, and the 2245s and stuff like that. But once again, the Beretta Neos look like an exact copy of the Colts, and there just wasn't something there that would made it work. So I'll have to put a few more rounds through the lights before I'm 100% convinced. And those 22 target pistols they're a great training aid. You need to learn to run your gun, and you got to focus on the marksmanship stuff first. And we all know now with the way ammo stuff is getting that you need to have some time on the range, but you can only go as much as you can afford to go, and you can go a whole lot further with 22. You can get the vast majority of your marksmanship foundation built with 22 and dry fire. A lot of people are still on this dry fire myth that dry firing's bad, but you can dry fire your standard gun, your service gun, your carry gun, whatever you want to call it. You can dry fire that a lot, and you can dry fire the 22s a lot, and you can shoot the 22s a whole lot more than you're going to be able to shoot center fire stuff. So if you get out there, practice with a 22, build your foundation of marksmanship, then transition that over to your center fire stuff, I think you'll really be ahead of the ball game. This is Aaron Henly. You can check me out on skillgarden.net if you like. Thanks, Ken.